The iconic actor from the TV show Dynasty, Linda Evans, who played Krystle Carrington, captivated the world with her performance in the 1990s. She was graceful, beautiful, and an absolute delight to watch, but behind that image, the woman was living through a huge personal storm. At 81, Linda Evans shared the absolute raw truth about the details of her nightmarish marriage to the actor and director, John Derek, a man who captured her heart and then proceeded to crush it. The two met on the show The Big Valley when Evan was still a young woman, bright-eyed and full of potential. Meanwhile, Derek was 30 years senior as an established figure in Hollywood. Known for his striking look and charismatic presence, Derek's reputation for being intense and passionate initially drew Linda to him, but it might have been the same intensity that would lead to years of emotional manipulation and control, pushing her to her limits. It wasn't a conventional relationship, not even from the start. Derek had an alarming pattern even before their relationship. He had been married to the glamorous Patti Biars, and then was involved with the Hollywood star Ursula Andress, as made obvious he would fall for young and vulnerable women, play them to his liking, and then completely erode and destroy their self-worth and confidence. This pattern showed true with Evans. The actress recalls that she was madly in love with him, and stayed with him even when he stopped the actress from pursuing her career. As she states, she didn't realize how much she'd lose herself in the relationship. As is the case in many new relationships, Linda was eager to please Derek, often prioritizing and putting aside his dreams to support his ambitions and beliefs. When he insisted that she stop working, she obliged without much opposition, even when her career was rising to the top, stuck in the belief that it was the best decision for their marriage. It was, however, as more time passed, clear to an outsider that it was more about control disguised under the nuance of love. It escalated into extremes soon after he was dictating how she was dressed and what people she could be friends with. Very quickly their love had taken an extremely toxic turn. It had become suffocating, and no aspect of her life was her own. According to the actress, her husband had an obsessive need for control, with his idea of a perfect wife that he expected Linda to mold into, but the more she fit in, the more she lost her own self-identity, and because of her age as well as naivety, she thought that was how love worked. It's absolutely heartbreaking how men of older age can manipulate these young women when they do not know better. The situation continued to take a worse turn when Derek started an affair. True to his pattern, the person he had an affair with was Bo Derek, who was around just 18 years old at that time and was quite impressionable. She would later go on to be his next young wife. The betrayal was completely crushing for Evans. She remembers this period in her life as the lowest mark. She describes feeling worthless and inferior. Why wouldn't she, for the man she dedicated her life to had carelessly betrayed her with a woman who was young and beautiful, someone that she thought she couldn't ever compete with. Though it was a devastating period of her life, the actress had finally decided to walk away. Shed describes this moment now as a necessary wake-up call. So in 1973, after an estimated 8 years of turbulent marriage, Linda made the brave decision to leave John Derek. It was obviously a highly difficult decision for her. She was leaving the man that she adored and loved for almost a decade. It was clear to her, though, that in order to persevere herself, she had to make this choice. Linda, in hindsight, says that she had to discover herself without him. The situation had been so alarming that she had forgotten what it was like to have her own identity. The decision proved to be an essential one. Immediately after her departure, she had a turning point in her career. Even while dealing with the emotional baggage of the marriage and then consequently the divorce, she chose to work again. She had called her manager and said she wanted to get back into acting. It wouldn't be easy, though, as her manager warned her, but Linda still insisted. It was a good thing, for just a few years later she landed her iconic role of Krystle Carrington in Dynasty, which made her rise to stardom. Evans did not take this opportunity for granted. She poured all her energy and completely dedicated herself to her craft. The actress quickly became a beloved sweetheart in the television world of the 1980s, winning numerous awards and capturing the hearts of millions of fans. There is a certain irony to the situation, as she recalls the fact this was the very choice that allowed her to thrive. Evan laments the fact that despite the weight of the whole situation, if she hadn't left her then husband, she wouldn't have gotten the role that changed her life for the better. She left Derek, the man who tried to control her in the name of love, and in return got enormous success. Even Bo Derek later reflected on regretting her relationship with John Derek. While the whole affair at the time had seemed glamorous at the time, she opened up about the emotional complexities and regrets tied to the relationship. In interviews, Bo has admitted to feeling conflicted about the affair, acknowledging that it caused great pain, particularly for Evans. Recalling those events, Bo expressed extreme regret for her role in breaking up Evans and Derek's marriage. She said that being young and naive, she didn't fully comprehend the complications and consequences of getting involved with a married man. Years later, Bo has recognized and taken responsibility for the emotional toll it took not only on Evans but also on herself. She said there was so much hurt involved, and yet she wasn't aware of what she had been stepping into. These reflections are a reminder of how youthful impulsiveness and misguided decisions can lead to long-lasting pain for everyone involved. Evans, now at 81, looks back at her time with John Derek with a more clean sense of clarity. She doesn't regret much but realizes how much she lost during those naive years of her life. It took her a long time to forgive herself for staying as long as she did in that suffocating marriage, as she describes her healing journey in an interview. Evans said that she has learned that every experience, even the painful ones, teaches a person something, and her experience taught her that she deserved better. It had taught her the importance of loving herself first and foremost. It takes much reflection to reach these conclusions, especially after such a long and toxic relationship, but it is a blessing that she had a fulfilling healing journey. It is important to note that in this case, it isn't simply about a wife and a homewrecker. Neither woman should be held responsible for these particular events. Instead, it is about the older man who manipulated and took advantage of barely adult women who were quite naive and impressionable at the time. Even Bo Derek, with whom he had the affair, was quite young and easily manipulated, as opposed to John, who was double her age and likely had a full grasp of what he was playing at. Evan's story serves as a powerful reminder that everyone, even the brightest stars, have their shadows. Her marriage to Derek was a dark chapter in her life, but it was also the trigger for her transformation into a stronger, more independent woman. Evans says that she is proud of the woman she has become. Rightfully so. She continues to say that she would not change her past because it led her to the free and happy person she is today. Linda Evans' tale is one of survival, resilience, and ultimately triumph. She rose above the emotional manipulation, rediscovered her identity, and made a successful career on her own terms. For anyone who has ever felt trapped in a relationship, Evans' story is a beacon of hope, proof that it's never too late to break free and finally reclaim your life. So, what do you think? Do you believe Linda Evans' marriage to John Derek shaped her the way she claims? Or was it just an unfortunate chapter in a life full of stardom? What do you think of Bo Derek's role in the whole situation, as well as her later regret? Do you also believe that John should be the one held responsible, at least more than the two women? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching.